Hello, good people. Welcome to the show. I hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic and your mindset is locked and loaded and you're excited about this crypto journey we are on together. Hello, I'm Zip, and tonight we are going to discuss HBAR, and we're going to dive deep into tokenization. And the goal of this show tonight is to show you the big picture of where the blockchain is going and how HBAR absolutely is going to explode and is going to tokenize everything. And I'm going to give you the big picture. I just want you to show the macro view. Again, if this is your first time to the show, thank you. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Again, I am Zip and I'm a utility maxi. I am invested in multiple cryptocurrencies that have real world SOV that are utility coins. And with that, let's jump straight into it. Now, coming out of HederaCon, I want you to listen to this, and we're going to listen to two parts of it, and it's about tokenization of real estate. And then we're going to dive into the preview that I have in the slideshow and walk through all of the wonderful world of tokenization. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, when the real world assets start to become tokenized, that's going to add liquidity to the blockchain and the environment, which means that HBAR is being used. And the one thing that we care about means price is going to go up. But I'm going to show you the other side of that, how in the future, it's going to open up a level playing field. So everyone is going to have an additional investment capability through tokenization. Now let's listen to this from Red Swan and listen to what they have to say about real estate.
How much the tokenized real world asset market is going to be. We hear billions, we hear trillions. How do we get their head around that? What are the drivers? What is fueling that size?
Good question. In 2018, I think till 2022, there was no really need for putting things on the blockchain because financing was pretty easy. I mean, debt was pretty inexpensive, and people were buying at very good prices. But today, you're seeing high interest rates, and you're seeing debt and capital being very difficult to obtain. So we're seeing a lot of requests from owners to recapitalize the equity in their properties because they can't get loans from banks. In the next 18 months,
Again, the key to that is recapitalization. If you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, what we are used to right now is what do? We go to the bank and we go and get a HELOC, or we get a second loan on the equity in our house. In the future, we're talking about tokenizing all of this on the blockchain. Everybody.
$1.8 trillion of mortgages are coming due. They're maturing. And you're going to see a pretty big gap between what banks are going to finance these new mortgages for to be more conservative than before. And that gives a very good opportunity now for us to go in and provide liquidity for those owners so they can actually recapitalize their assets without having to sell them off.
Again, liquidity is the name of the game. If you have liquidity in your life, you can take that liquidity and go invest it further. Remember that tonight's the theme, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more now, setting it up for the rest of the show here. That's listen to the rest of this. And you heard him say, we're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars just in the real estate market. That's just one sector. We're going to talk about other sectors tonight and how big HBAR absolutely is going to be. Now take a listen to this.
You went straight into one specific industry sector, real estate being massive, and you referenced something that I think a lot of times gets lost in this, and that's bringing the mortgage element as well. Some people think that you can't actually get to tokenized real estate unless you handle the mortgage element as well and put some on the blockchain. Thoughts on that?
No, you can tokenize the equity side. Let's say a property like this has mortgage debt on it that's going to last for another 5 to 7 years, and that mortgage is at 4%. We're not going to touch recapitalizing that because that's good debt. Is the equity that's usually very expensive. So if we can focus on the equity and capitalize that and maybe sell the equity at 7.5%, 8%, we're still much cheaper than some of the private corporate credit you're seeing out there that may be 12, 13, 14%.
Okay.
Again, the financial the system is changing right before our eyes, and we're seeing one sector here that we're talking about. and what can happen with that. Again, there's the equity side and there's the mortgage side, and we're going to dive deeper into that here in a moment. Other tokenization noise information coming out before we get all the way into it, because this whole show tonight is about tokenization. We know that HBAR Foundation has invested in Fidelity International's USD money market funds, and we're going to get into that. Again, tokenization of absolutely everything in the future is what is going to happen. Now, let's go into this slideshow here so I can represent and show you what tokenization is and all of the possibilities. Again, this is kind of a dream session. I want to show you the future. Hello, future. That's what hedera is about, and that is what is absolutely going to happen. So again, tokenization, ladies and gentlemen, macro view, tokenization, we understand, is going to transform the way that we invest and interact with assets by leveraging blockchain technology to create digital tokens that represent ownership or rights of an asset. You will still own your house, or you will be invested in someone else's house through tokenization and be able to buy that. And you'll see that here clearly in a minute. Again, what is real estate tokenization? I kind of walked through it there real quick, but real estate tokenization involves breaking down property ownership or related financial instruments into digital tokens recorded on the blockchain. It's no different than the financial instruments we have today, really. It's just right now we're in an archaic paper environment. As I said, we can take a HELOC out on equity in our house now, or a second loan now, but it's a complicated process in the future. This will be all done through smart contracts, and this tokenization will be on the blockchain and be realized on the blockchain, and it will be a much more efficient environment. That's the plan. That's the goal of modernizing this system. This approach increases accessibility, liquidity, and transparency while leveraging the security and automation of blockchain technology. Again, instantaneous updates. No more waiting 45 days to get a HELOC or whatever the case may be in the timelines, because smart contracts, again, all of the system will be working together. Now, there are two primary ways to tokenize real estate: tokenizing the equity part, which we were talking about, and then tokenizing the loans. Let's dive all the way in and get a better understanding so you can have a complete picture and begin to understand where we are going. It's more than just price go up. That's why, in my opinion, I'm not planning to sell all of my assets ever. I'll sell out, pull some capital out, and then get into some of the other parts of tokenization and the passive income that may come through that. But tokenizing real estate equity. Tokenizing real estate equity means converting ownership of a physical property, the property that you live in, the building, the business that you live into, and you're going to turn it into digital tokens, HBAR tokens, where each token represents a fractional share of the property itself. So how would that work? A property, let's just say $1 million apartment building, is divided into tokens. In this example, you could split into 1 million tokens, each worth $1. Now, investors are going to come in and they're going to purchase those tokens based on their budget, and their ownership is recorded right on the blockchain. There'll be a smart contract that automatically comes in. There'll be a website or something to where we go out and we can look at if we want to buy a part of an apartment in New York City, because we know it's in a high valued area and the market is going to continue to go up. You can go out there and you can invest at a fractionalized piece. Today's environment, you can't do that. You have to be an accredited investor, and there's so many rules and such. All of that is changing, ladies and gentlemen. The blockchain will ensure transparency and immutability, making it absolutely clear what part of that building I own, how much of a percentage, how many dollars did I put into it. That's how many tokens I will have. What's the benefit of that? I just said it a minute ago: fractional ownership. Investors can buy as little as one token, lowering the barrier to entry compared to purchasing an entire property. Again, leveling the playing field. It also adds liquidity. Tokens can be traded on then secondary markets. unlike traditional real estate, which often will take months to sell, right? Income and growth. Token holders will receive a proportional share of rental income. So if we're talking about an investment strategy, I can buy part of a token, and if that place is being rented out, I will get a percentage of that rental income. And again, I would also be benefiting from the appreciation in that value because I own a part of it. If said apartment building sells, whatever that percent that I own, I'm going to earn off of that appreciation. Now, what are some of the risks in token real estate equity? Obviously, depreciation. You know, if the property value drops, the value of the token could decrease as well, or will decrease as well, right? No different than the investments we do right now. The difference is it's all going to be done more efficiently and on the blockchain. And for us as owners, as those tokens, as the blockchain, as the layer one that is producing all this liquidity, that coin HBAR in this instance is going to be high dollar, high value. Management dependence. Investors rely on property managers to maintain the asset and generate, you know, the same risks and concerns we have in traditional real estate today. Yes, there's risk in all investment, but the blockchain is going to open it up so multitudes of people can invest instead of a limited amount like we have today. In this example, let's imagine that commercial building worth $2 million, again, tokenized in 20,000 tokens at $100 each. You were to buy 200 tokens, giving you 1% ownership stake. If the building generates $100,000 in annual rental income, you're going to receive $1,000 of that, which is 1% of income a year. If the property value rises to 2.2 million, your tokens are now worth $110 each. Again, netting you potential profit if you sell, if you're the owner, or if you're part owner in that property. Can you see the benefit of tokenization and where it's going, ladies and gentlemen? I hope so, because it's very exciting when you start to dissect some of this. Now, let's look at the tokenizing of the real estate loans. Debt. We're tokenizing debt at this point. And again, we do this today. I can loan out money to an individual and charge them for said loan, right? I'm making money off of their debt. That's basically what banks do, right? We are becoming the bank. You can be a bank. So how does that work? A loan, for example, $500,000 mortgage is tokenized into shares. It might be divided into 5,000 tokens, each worth $100. Investors are then going to buy those tokens effectively, lending money to the borrower and receive interest payments as the loan is repaid. The property serves as collateral, reducing risk if the borrower defaults. What are the risks? Similar to the risks that we have today, there could be a default risk. If the borrower fails to repay, investors will lose all or some of their investment through the collateral. Although, remember, the collateral, because you, through a smart contract, will have part ownership in that deed. That is what your security is. It's no different than what we're doing today, but it's done in a more efficient manner, and it opens the playing field up to everyone. Interest rate sensitivity. Fixed returns may lose value in high inflation or rising interest rate environments. Again, common in today's real estate market. Now, again, let's look at the example one more time. Consider for tokenizing real estate loans. Consider a $500,000 mortgage with a 5% interest rate tokenized into 5,000 tokens. So that's at $100 each. Most folks can afford $100 each. If I were to have a property and I said, I'm going to open it up to the market, 50% of it up to the market, individuals probably can handle $100 each. What they can't handle is maybe a $500,000 mortgage. All right. Then you're going to buy 50 of those tokens. You're going to invest $5,000, which is 1% of that $500,000 loan. The annual interest is what? $25,000 a year, 5% of $500,000. So you earn $250 yearly, 1% of the interest. At the end of the loan term, you receive your 5,000 principal back, assuming no default. So you can see how you can make money again through debt tokenization. And Red Swan talked about that through Hedera. And that's the big vision of where we are going. And that's what I'm trying to help with in this channel, and just show you the long-term goal and where the markets are going. What are other examples of tokenized assets? Again, everything and anything that can be tokenized will be tokenized. Tokenization is not limited just to real estate. Again, we can tokenize art and collectibles. We could tokenize tokenizing ownership of valuable items like paintings, sculptures, rare coins. Again, it's the same concept. $5 million painting might be able to be split into 50,000 tokens, $100 each. It's a lot easier access for individuals to come into. It's fractional ownership of tangible assets. Again, the blockchain tokenization is going to open up a whole new world for us to make all kinds of interesting ways to earn passive income and gain income avenues. Intellectual property can be tokenized. Again, patents will be tokenized, copyrights, royalties. Think music. We already know that Hedera is being used for some music. I saw something today. I believe Snoop Dogg is now, he flipped from Spotify and he's working with Hedera on their Tune. I think it's Tune TV. Again, music tokenization, and you're going to earn passive income off of those royalty streams, and it's going to be all tokenized and just end up in your wallets or wherever your payment location is going to be. Commodities, tokenizing physical goods like gold, silver, oil. Everything is going to be tokenized, and you're going to be able to invest in it. Equity companies, debt instruments. We talked about debt and a little bit with regards to the housing market, but tokenizing bonds, treasuries, other fixed income securities. 1 million corporate bond, as an example, tokenized into 10,000 tokens at $100 each. How many people are going to be able to come in and be able to invest in that? Carbon credits. Again, ladies and gentlemen, everything and anything that possibly can be tokenized is going to be tokenized. We know that ArchAX is absolutely working with HBAR. ArchAX extended the tokenized RWA universe to bring equities and government debt on chain. Everything will be tokenized. HBAR will be a big part of it. So why does tokenized matter? Again, just to give a complete summary here, tokenization democratizes investment by what? Again, it lowers the barriers to entry. Fractional ownership makes high value assets now accessible to more people. You do not have to be an accredited investor, as an example. Boosting liquidity. Blockchain markets enable faster trading than traditional systems. Guess what? It's 24/7 trading when we're talking about this, and it enhances transparency. Immutable records reduce fraud and disputes. I know if I buy said part of an apartment or a collectible and a painting, it's in my wallet. I have ownership, custodial ownership of that property. And again, it eliminates the fraud and the disputes because it's marked on the blockchain. Again, and it does now, all of this, is it going to be a light switch operation? Absolutely not. It's going to take some time, but we saw in HederaCon, they are doing live testing of all this now. All of this stuff is going on, and it's happening right before our eyes. So yes, we need the regulatory compliance, the security laws. And we know in America, the SEC is absolutely on a breakneck path to implementing those things. They're in the phase of cleaning up the last 4 to 6 years worth of Gary Gensler, but they're cleaning up all of the old lawsuits, and they're going to be working on all the laws and the security laws to support a blockchain environment like Hedera. And we're going to need robust platforms to ensure trust and liquidity. We need the larger institutions to come in, which is absolutely happening now because all of America's administration is behind making America the crypto capital of the world. Absolutely the most exciting time to be alive. And again, I hope you enjoyed this tonight and it just broadened your ideas of what tokenization really is and where it's going to go. And HBAR is going to be one of the blockchains leading the charge in that without a doubt. Now, I hope everyone, please be safe. Please like this video, share it out. We're such a small community still, the crypto community and this channel in general. We need to get this information out. There's only about 7 to 10% of people that even are invested in crypto. And that percentage is even smaller within HBAR. So be excited, know exactly what you hold, and look into the future. Yes, we want to get rich tomorrow, but we want to build wealth for generations. And that's what this technology is going to do, along with tokenization and all of the other DeFi and all the other capabilities. We are going to have a capability to invest in and create that generational wealth that we can pass on to our kids and their kids. With that, again, please be safe, be smart, keep your assets on cold storage or in a software wallet that you trust. Keep them off of the exchanges. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Zip is out.